Warning, swearing, depressing stuff, suicide, and self-harm.
Oh, what?
I just read the first sentence.
Now I gotta know.
One day, Quagmire was walking down the road. Then Lois and Bonnie went up to him, and then Lois said, "Look who came over, Bon, the fucking worthless bitch." and Bonnie giggled. What?
What an opener!
Oh, that was so funny. Oh, what? Oh, dude.
What is the next line even better?
Oh my God. Okay, get ready. You guys aren't ready for this. And Bonnie giggled. Then Lois shoved him to the ground, and Lois and Bonnie beated him up till he was on the ground, bleeding and crying. Then after they misspelled it. Then after he was left to bleed and cry on his own, Lois said, "Do Quahog a favor and kill yourself because everyone hates you anyway, and you're stupid little pervert that everyone hates. Not even the lonest person on the earth would want to be with you. Ha 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 ha." Then they left, and Quagmire went to his house, and he muttered, "Thanks, I already know what you tell me it every day." Then he locked the door and closed the windows in case they threw a brick at his window with a hateful slur on it. Then Quagmire thought to himself, "Oh, don't be silly, Glenn. They're just being stupid, giggity. They don't actually mean it. They're just jealous." And he watched. Yeah, they don't actually hate me, giggity. Then he watched some daytime TV. At the Drunken Clam, we're in a new scene, guys. At the Drunken Clam, Peter ordered some drinks and talked about his day. Quagmire just tried to zone out. Then Joe said, "Quagmire, you okay? Because you don't seem it." Then Quagmire said, "Yes, I am," and put a fake smile on, trying to seem okay. Then Cleveland said, "You don't have a sex story to tell us." That was shit, Cleveland. The Quagmire said, "No, I don't." Then Joe said, "You're joking, right?" Then Quagmire said, "I don't know jokes, and I wasn't planning on saying any jokes today." The guys were really surprised because Quagmire always has a sex story to tell after Drunken Clam. Quagmire was walking home, and then he saw Lois and Bonnie.
Oh no!
Getting ready to beat him up. So he started to run, the Bonnie said. Then they started to run after, so he tried hiding in an alleyway that only got him cornered by them. Then he got beaten up badly for running. Then after he got beaten up, Bonnie said, "Go die because no one will care, and the world would be a really better place if you were gone." Then Lois said,
I didn't get my free
"And slit your wrist, trash." Then they left him. And after they knew they were wrong, he got up and ran home fast. When he was home, he locked the door and broke down into tears. Then after his mental breakdown, he got up and went to the bed and cried even more. Then his white fluffy cat leaped onto his bed and purred and rubbed his face around Quagmire's legs. Then he saw his cat and picked her up and hugged her and said, "At least I got you. You don't insult me daily." He cried into the cat's fluffy white hair, and then he cried himself to sleep. The next day, Belches, Quagmire got ready to go to work. And then he was about to go to work, and then Bonnie and Lois. Bonnie said, "We need to give you something before to go to work. Guess what it is?" Then Lois said, "If you guessed tons of cuts and bruises and a black eye and some insults, you were right." Then they beated him up, and then Bonnie said, "You're such a disgusting pervert. I bet you spy on girls' toilets, Glenn." Then Lois said, "He did that to me once. What a disgusting person. I hate him." Then Bonnie said, "Same." Then when they left him crying, he sped to work, then realized he was going to be late and put him into even more tears because he knew his boss hated him and he was harder on him than the other co-workers. At work, Quagmire ran into the boss. We need the good shit. Where's the good shit? This is all good shit. Never mind.
It's been like 24 hours in the Quag world and he's been beaten. He's gotten the shit beat out of him 3 times.
Listen to his boss, dude.
Wait, hold on. Also, somebody joined the Discord, I think.
Yeah, wait, who joined?
Yeah, I've just been listening.
Yeah.
We're listening.
I thought I heard you talking.
Quagmire ran into the boss's room and said, "I'm so sorry I'm late." Then his boss yelled, "You better be sorry. And what's your excuse this time, Glenn?" And Quagmire said, I got beaten up. Then his boss said, "By what?" And Quagmire said, "By 2 girls who are my neighbors." Then his boss laughed and laughed and laughed and said, "Oh my god, I got a tip for you next time. Man the fuck up and don't be a fucking pussy then." Then Quagmire did. Then Quagmire ran into the bathroom and locked himself in one of the cubicles and caught a razor blade from his pocket and started slitting his wrist.
Wow, this took a really dark turn really quickly.
Quagmire whimpered in pain, but he knew there was no one that would care anyway. What the fuck? Quagmire put on his jacket to hide the slits, and he did his job with a fake smile plastered on his face to hide the sadness with. He got yelled at by his boss about the smallest things, like one time he cleaned out some chairs at the end of the day and his boss found a tiny spot of dirt on it and another worker forgot. Then his boss was pissed off and the boss yelled, "Glenn, Quagmire, get here now!" Quagmire was terrified but came to his boss anyway, and his boss yelled, "Clean that up, you forgot it." Who wrote this? This is shit.
No way somebody over 14.
It sounds like a crappy pasta.
Like, who wrote that? Clean that up, you forgot it, didn't you? Quagmire said. "I didn't even clean the chair, another worker forgot about it." His boss yelled at him then, "Do you want to be sacked?" And Quagmire said, "No." Then his boss yelled, "Then clean it up or you're fired. No, your choice." Oh wow, I just read a really funny sentence. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you guys will know when we get to it.
Okay.
Then into his driveway. Then he scrambled out of the car, quickly locked it, and was looking in every direction so Bonnie and Lois don't see him and beat him up. Then he ran into his front door and quickly looked for his house key. He was muttering, "Shit, shit," over and over again as he found his house key and looked behind him, and his heart dropped when he saw Bonnie and Lois. Then they looked in his direction. Then Bonnie pointed at him and whispered something to Lois, and Lois laughed and they walked up to him. Quagmire was quickly trying to open his door.
Holy
and he
fuck.
felt Lois pull at his top and turned him around so he would face her. Then Lois said, "Not too soon." Then she whispered something to Bonnie, and then Bonnie laughed and then went behind them and went behind Quagmire and grabbed his arm so he could not escape. Then and Bonnie nodded at Lois and Lois beat it up Quagmire.
Why is it always them?
I don't know, man.
No.
Just beating the shit out of Quagmire.
That's all that's happened so far.
Quagmire's got his ass whooped like 4 fucking times in like a 24-hour span.
This next part is it just says after that. So I guess this is right after. Quagmire got into his house and went on his phone and saw Lois and Bonnie's hateful text to him. Quagmire was in tears. It says Quagmire wars in tears, but it was Quagmire wars in tears. The text said things like, "Go commit, die. Go drink bleach. Go hang yourself. No one would care if you died. I would be so happy if I heard you died. I wish you weren't born." And more hateful stuff. Quagmire said, "I do too." This next part, a few months later, Quagmire hated his life. He wished to die. He had slits all over his body. He was drunk most often. He was the only time he felt happiness. He got fired from his job because he was arriving work drunk. Bonnie and Lois' insults became more hurtful and awful, and they beated him up once more in front of Peter, his crush.
Oh, now it gets to that point. Now it
Peter,
gets
and then parentheses, his crush. And then Right, and made Peter divorce him because Lois wasn't happy, so she blamed Quagmire for it and beated him up for it and accused him of stealing her
Why
husband
don't they
from
just
her.
kill him at this point? Like, holy shit. They want him dead that bad. Why don't they just do it themselves?
Honestly, like they hate him so much, they should just murder him. Anyway, where are we? Oh yeah. Joe and Cleveland now hated him because Bonnie lied to them about Quagmire and Lois, and Bonnie started to spread rumors about him and make people hate him. Oh wow, this one is just called The Day Quagmire Kills Himself.
Oh.
Let's read that.
Okay, there's a pretty naughty word. I have to read the F word in this.
Do it. It'll make it funny. Right there.
Granted.
Thank
Yes, you have the pass.
Lois and Bonnie were beating up Quagmire. Oh, dude, I'm screaming this in the Lois voice. Lois and Bonnie were beating up Quagmire, and Lois said, "Die, bitch, 'cause no one likes a." Then Quagmire said, "Okay, then." Then Lois said, "Good, go die." Then Bonnie said, "He didn't actually mean it. He doesn't look like he's lying about it. What have I done?" What?
Wait,
she
what?
feels bad? Yeah, she feels bad.
You guys have
about
been
it.
whooping his ass like every day for like a year at this point.
Yeah. When he
Why are
tries
you
to
now
change
just
apart.
being like, oh no, this isn't good? Like you've been
I realize the error of my ways. I'm going to stop now.
like, you've been beating the shit out of Quagmire for like 6 months. Constant.
And now you're saying it's too far. Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. But like this wasn't written with a lot of care. Might be. Maybe when we get to the
like
next
a 12-year-old wrote it. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Quagmire went onto his Facebook account and posted, "Goodbye, everyone. I bet you won't miss me." And then he posted it, and Quagmire thought to himself, "It will all be over soon, and there will be no more suffering." Oh my God. Quagmire wrote a suicide note and then folded it up, and then he slitted his wrist and then heard some people enter his house and then heard Peter say, "Quagmire, stop, you don't know what you're doing." And Quagmire yelled, "I know what I'm doing, I'm ending the pain." Then Peter said, "I'm here with Joe in Cleveland. We saw your post and this is not the best way out. There's other ways out." And Quagmire said, "To me, this is the end everything, and you don't understand what I go through every fucking day. You don't get abused, beat up, called names, giggity, and get bullied and accused of stuff I didn't even do because you're loved. I didn't even do because you're loved. I'm hated. That's how it is in this shithole of a world. Now I'm going to end it all. Goodbye, Peter Griffin. And one thing before I go." Then Peter, who was nearly in tears, said, What is it?" Then Quagmire says, I love you. I fucking love you. Now goodbye." Then Peter said, "Please don't die." Then Peter Cleveland heard a cocking of a gun, then someone crying, and a gunshot, then dead silence. And Joe broke down the door to Quagmire's bedroom and found Quagmire dead on the ground. Blood was all over the walls and floor. Peter was crying and wishing it was an awful dream that he could wake up and see Quagmire smiling and being himself, but Peter knew this was not a dream. And the reality nightmare that Quagmire was dead, and there was no bringing him back. Then Peter grabbed a knife and said, "Quagmire, I'm coming." And Peter stabbed himself in the heart so he could be reunited with Quagmire. The end.
What an ending!
Hello fellow humans, if you made it to the end, congratulations and thank you. Now, you get to know a secret. Throughout this video I've hidden box gift card codes, purchased and usable only in Canada. Some will be hidden, some will be obvious. It is up to you to find them. Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.